Hi everyone, it's Jean. I'm back this evening because I had a little hiccup with my previous video. So I wanted to make sure that I did justice to this project because it was so much fun. And I really enjoyed working with the images I got from Kim Newberg. And if you want to check out her images, you can do so on her Kofi site. And you can take advantage of any of her free images, or you can sign up for a membership and, of course, get some additional images that she has. So what I was working on for most of the last few days are some plaques. I had watched a video by Kim where she was making some little signs out of some digital art, and she had used chipboard for hers. And a great source of chipboard is, for example, she used drink coasters in hers. Now, I noticed here in the US, at least for the last few times that I've been out to eat, which has been a while, the coasters don't seem like they're quite as thick as they used to be. But if you do have a way to pick up some, they're a great option for backing to make a really cool image out of. Plaque out of. I probably got this particular one from Kim anyway. So they're really nice. They're sufficiently thick and they're lightweight. So it helps to create a plaque that you can easily stick in the mail or put in a goodie box, and it doesn't weigh very much, which is nice. So I will show you 3 of the plaques that I've been working on, just in general, so you could get a rough idea. They're different styles. This particular plaque that we have here, I used a few of Tim Holtz die cuts that I have. I don't remember where these little butterfly tags came from, but this one is a special one for a friend of mine, and it's about sisters. And I thought a really cute option would be, after covering it really nice on the back, I put a little envelope here so that either I can stick a note in here for her, or she can put some type of memory of her sister in the back. So this is what I've designed. And one of the things that is really nice for hanging your plaques are these little clips. Now, if you look in your jewelry section at like a craft store, Hobby Lobby, something like that, you can find these little metal clips, and they're called ribbon clips. However, as they are a clamp, they will clamp right onto whatever you're using for your project, as long as it's, thin enough. Now, it has little teeth in it. So if you would put it in here on this one, and then you have to squeeze it so that it attaches, the teeth would kind of grab into the chipboard so that you have a nice little hanger. And that's what I did on this one. However, I think this board is a little bit too thick for them, and with chipboard it would be better because the teeth will sink in more, because this is a cardboard or more of a paper product, whereas this is wood. But I put I reinforced them with some glue so they shouldn't come off. And then I'm going to put a pretty hanger on it. I haven't decided if I'm going to use wire or ribbon or what I'm going to do. But this one is a hanging one. And then I made this one. And it is also a hanging one. And I used the same method of adding these ribbon clamps. And it's just a fun way to hang your plaque so that it hangs nicely. You can hang it on a doorknob, or if you have somewhere special that you would like to place this. And it also bends down so that you can mail it quite easily. Has a little dangle on here, and on each of these I used my post earrings to kind of make a little bling on them. This one is a bridal couple, and these images I got from a Facebook site called Antonio Makes. So if you're interested in any of these images, these backgrounds that I used, that's where they came from. So that's another one that I made. And then the first one is done on the same square board. These I picked up at the Dollar Tree. They come in a pack of 6. And they're really nice because they're square and they're just a perfect size for a little plaque. So this one is done more of in a shabby design. I painted the back a pink, and I used this vintage clothespin as an easel. And you can see here are some Tim Holtz die cuts, and I used an earring right here, and I stamped and made my own ribbon, which there are videos online for how to make your own ribbon. The packages that you sometimes come across at the thrift that have like seam binding in them and rickrack and different little trims, you can sometimes find some that's just white, that's kind of like a cotton, and that's what I used for this. I just used a script stamp that I had, and actually I think it might be Tim Holtz too. And I used my Stays On ink, and the reason why is because it's a permanent ink, so you don't have to use Stays On, but if you have one that's a permanent ink, that's probably best to use for this so it doesn't rub off on your hands. So this is these 3 were all done with the free images from Antonio Makes, and of course embellished with the Tim Holtz die cuts. And I have a whole bunch of them. I just don't know what kit they all came from. So the last one that I made, and I had a little problem with my video on this, so I'm just going to show it to you again. I used some images that Kim had on her website. This is a floral background she has listed on her site, as well as this crazy cat. And I love how this ruffle turned out, and of course another earring. And this is just kind of using a eclectic style or a juxtaposition of, you know, you're using a shabby background with this scary cat, and you have this vintage girl. So my idea behind this crazy tale is that often you see in cartoons or memes sometimes a cat that sits on top of a person's head. So I thought, well, why can't a person sit on top of a cat's head? So I designed it like this. I did cover her eyes because just for fun, and I embellished a little bit more on her dress. And I wanted to point out that a lot of times when we're creating things, we think everything has to match. But there's and I am a matchy-matchy person normally, but there is a style that's called eclectic. And I really like the eclectic style because it takes different styles of media. For example, I'm very much the romanticist, and I love the florals and the children images and all the vintage and shabbiness. I love all that. But this kind of takes some of that and puts it in with this little creepy cat, which I don't think he's really creepy. I think he's so cute. And makes it into something that is really whimsical and fun. So this is what I'm going to make tonight, but it's going to be a little bit different than the one that we have here. So I printed out another one of Kim's floral images, and this one has, it looks like maybe some other types of flowers. The other one was roses. These might be I call them peonies. I don't know if you all say it the same way or not, but I just cut this the exact same size as the board, and I'm going to glue it on. And I printed out my cat, but I think he's a tiny bit big, so we'll see how it turns out this time. As far as, you know, the size of the image. And I meant to get out my black distress ink, but I didn't. So let me just put this on first. And I cut it so that it would be the exact same size of the board. And the way that I did that is I just traced it on the back side and cut it out with my trimmer so it'd be nice and smooth. Now, what you do to the back is totally up to you. If you want to cover the back with some book paper or something else to maybe make a little note, if you're giving it for a gift, you can. So that's optional for you. And here's my cat. So I am going to use the same cat because I just love him. And I was actually, my daughter, she is something else. She has this ability. Give me just a second, guys. I have to turn off my heater. She has this unique ability of naming our animals these crazy names. So we actually have two black cats. One is called Little Black Cat, of course. And then the other one's name is actually Halloween. So when I saw these cat images, I was in love with them because they reminded me of my Halloween. So I'm going to cut this out, and I'm trying to cut as close as I can to the image, but it is going to be a little bit of a challenge because of his whiskers. And I'm just going to go around here and get him trimmed out. Sorry, I should have done this off camera for you guys, but it should only take me a moment to cut him out. I am cutting some of his hairs off, so hopefully he'll still look fluffy. We've always had cats. I love cats. My mom has one inside cat, and her name is Loretta, and she is a tuxedo. She has the white and the black. And then we have several cats that live outside because we have a bigger property, and they just They live outside, and then in the wintertime, my husband makes them these big boxes that they can fit in. And with straw or hay or something in there so they can get nice and cozy in the wintertime. Okay. So here's my cat, and he is bigger on this one than he is on the other one, which is okay because I may do something different, not necessarily a person sitting on the cat's head. So I'm going to take some of my Distress ink, and I'm just going to go around the edges. And it's a little bit easier to do that like right on the paper here because there's so many little jagged edges. So I'm going to go ahead and, oh, give me a second, guys. My Tim Holtz box fell because I'm making a lot of movement. Let me move it real quick and we'll get it out later. Okay, so I'm just going around him because I can't really get, well, I probably can cut in a little bit more here where his body is, like this, and like this. There we go. And then I can ink this up a little bit so when we put him on the board, it doesn't have such a stark white. Now, I don't mind so much if he goes off of the board a little bit, but what I am going to use to fasten him down are these little foam dots, and these are fun to use because you can get a little bit of dimension on your project then, and not everything is in the same place. I mean, not everything is fastened down directly to the board. And also, you can use the different sizes, that's fine, because the width of them, the thickness of them is still the same. Okay, let me see here. I think I'm going to put one or two over here. I'm not sure how much of him I'm going to have off of the page, but let me pull these off. These are self-adhesive, and I found that, I think this is a pack from Recollections, but I found that these do adhere really well, and I didn't need to use any extra glue, so that's good. And there's a couple more here yet that I need to pull the paper off of. And then we will, oops, hang on there, guy. We'll put him right here so that we can, so all the dots are there. He is so adorable. I have loved him since I saw him, since she made him. And what I'm also going to do is I'm going to take this product, which is called Glassy Accents, and what it does is it actually allows whatever you adhere it to, it will come out shiny. So I'm going to put it on his eyes because I think he needs to have shiny eyes. And let me move this one over here. And my ink dauber. And I'm going to flip this over. And so here we have our cat sitting right here on our in a beautiful garden. And we need something else to add to him to make him kind of unique. Now on the other one, I used some ruffled trim. I want to do something a little bit different. And I think what we'll do this time is just some ribbon. And I have some that is black and white polka dot, and I think that will look really cute on this particular piece. Let me see where I laid it. I also had some that had feet. Oh wait, I found something that's orange too. Let me get this real quick. And let me see if I can find the black and white. And we will use a mix of both of them. Okay, I'm not sure where the black and white was that I had, but it's okay. I really like this orange rickrack because I think it will brighten him up quite a bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put this on the back, and I'm going to glue it as soon as my glue gets to coming out here. So here's some, we're just going to tack it. And I use those little clips for sewing. They're so practical if you're not using a fast, this glue is actually pretty fast tack, but if you're not using a really fast tack glue, these clips come in handy because they will secure it. Almost doesn't reach. And let me cut it off right here. And that'll secure it so that it'll stay down. Okay, there we go. There's our guy. He looks cute like that. And then I want to add something. He needs something to make him kind of unique. And I'm not sure exactly what that is yet. So let me see. And as I was mentioning to you earlier, I have a lot of things that are from Tim Holtz, but I don't use his things very often because I have access to a lot of people who have beautiful digitals. So when you're able to get really nice digitals, you don't have to spend much money on packages of die cuts and things of that nature. So always look for cool digitals on Facebook groups that offer freebies, or even some of the coffee shops. I mention a few in my videos that you can subscribe to and get a couple, you know, get some different images from different creators that will suit your purpose, and then you don't have to spend as much on die cuts. So I had this little pinwheel and I thought maybe that would look cute, but I'm not sure that I love that. So let me see. Maybe I need a different color. Maybe I need something that's, no, that's definitely the wrong color. Okay, let me look over here in my images really quick, because the cat is in a garden of sorts. So we could definitely put another like big flower or something on there that would kind of match. I don't want to use that either. Okay, guys, let me see what I have in my post earrings and see what we can do for some decoration for this handsome man. That mushroom looks kind of cute. Speaking of that, Kim has a very nice collection of mushroom images on her website if you're looking for something like that. Okay, so there's a couple different things we can use here for dangles. This purple one is pretty, and she has some purple in the floral over there. But what I want to do is I want to give my cat a bow tie. So I have some red ribbon roses over here, and if I take, let's see here, actually that would look kind of cute because of the background, to give him a little tie. So I'm going to put that on there as a little tie. And I was just thinking, if you've ever looked at books and images or journals where people do, especially if it's like a fairy related or something of that nature, you sometimes see a mushroom or a toadstool, and then on it you'll see a little person or a fairy. And the cool thing is that they're out of size range. So I'm going to see if I can find another little mushroom in here. Here are some of the other cats on Kim's paper if you get it. So I'm going to find another, and let me see if I can find, I was looking through these images and I was wondering, why in the world do I want to have people, these images with people sitting down? And then I used one on that other project and I thought it was so cute. So here's a little girl, and I know she's been used a lot in projects, but we're going to turn her into a fairy, and we are going to put her on the mushrooms. So we can make it look like she's in, you know, we have that, again, that juxtaposition of sizes and styles. So let me just lay this over here and these over here, because I'm pretty sure I had some other mushrooms. Let me see if I can find them really quick. Actually, I like this little girl too. Okay, so I don't see the other one. Let me see if it's in here. I do enjoy using these black and white images. I think the people images that Tim Holtz made are nice because they're already cut out and they look good. So let me see. All right, I don't see any more mushrooms, but that's okay. What we have here is good. So let me glue these down. And we'll put just a tiny bit here to glue that one down. And then we'll put a tiny bit on this one to glue this one down. And then I love this little girl, but I think I'm going to use this one because she just looks kind of fancier standing on the mushroom. I need to poke out these little holes here. Oh, I know what I wanted to do. Where's my tiny little box of treasures that I keep on my desk? I wanted to see if I could find just a small, I don't want pink. Just small butterfly, and I think the only ones I have are really big, so that's not gonna work. Alrighty. So I wanted to put a little butterfly and make her look like a fairy, but I'm not finding a small enough butterfly in my supplies here. Wait a minute. Oh, that's a leaf. Okay. So what we can do is we'll just put her on like this. I'm really loving this glue because it does really stick down nice. So I'm going to put her on here. Let me move this little clip. And I'm going to put her on top of the mushroom like she's flaring out her beautiful dress on the mushroom. There's my pokey tool. So sometimes when I get glue where I don't want it, I can, if you don't have a damp towels work well too, or like baby wipes, but I'm just going to clean that off a tiny bit. And there's our little girl on a mushroom. Now I usually can't get away without at least altering these in some way. So I'm going to color her bow purple so she'll kind of match in with our background here. So she has a purple bow. Let me see, what else do I need? Okay, I think that this looks really good just as it is. I'm not going to add anything else unless I find a smaller butterfly somewhere that I can make her look like she has wings, which I don't have any small ones right at hand. But here is a really cute way that you can take those $1.25 plaques, and there's 6 in there, so that's a nice amount of plaques to get for just $1.25. And you can design this however you want. If you want to do something for each holiday, that's certainly possible. Or if you want to just do something for, for gifts. They don't have to be holiday related. A lot of people do like to decorate their homes for different seasons. I know my sister-in-law, she loves to put out her pumpkins and her gnomes. So there's always something that we can change up and make things look different at home. But here is my plaque idea, and this is another option for you to hang your plaques if you would like to do that. You can use these bulldog clips and just clip it right on there. Now I would suggest maybe putting a little bit of glue on underneath if you don't want to ever remove them, because if someone would come by and accidentally squeeze it, it's gonna fall off. So you could definitely use a little bit of glue under there just to secure it, and then you can run your ribbon or your string or your wire right through the clips, and there you have a nice piece to hang on your door, your window, your office, cubicle, your filing cabinet, wherever you want to put it. So here we have 2 versions of Halloween. One is our larger version, who's in a fairy garden. And then we have this one with a that's more of a crazy tale, as it says here. So I wanted to see maybe if I could find a word to go with this one. And we will put on here, I want to see if I have any more kind of, So since this is going to be a fairy style, as soon as I find a butterfly for her, and then I'll show you guys an update, I'm going to call this, oh, I don't know why I did this in blue, but that's okay. It looks fine, matches the background. I'm going to put on here wishful. Let me see if I have the word in. Do I have the word in? I-N? Ing, but no in. Fiddle faddle. Here, I have one more white sheet. Let me see if there's an in on here. Nope, I don't see an in. Lots of pronouns, but no in. Okay, so wishful. And we'll put the word magic on there. And we'll put this right here, like we did on the other one. Hopefully they'll stay on there. I didn't put any extra glue on them. So wishful magic. And I don't know if you guys can notice this, but I see it right away that when you, like for example, this was a good mistake of making this blue, because then we see the background kind of drawn into the colors that we're using here. Even if this bow was more of a fuchsia color, it would have looked cute as well. I don't have any fuchsia, so I'm going to go with the red. It matches his nose. And then we have the little mushrooms. Now, one thing I am going to do to brighten up the mushrooms a little bit, and this is something that I always recommend that you do last, and that is if you're going to add any type of glitter. For example, I'm going to add some here to the dots on top of this mushroom. Do that last, because it takes glitter a little while to dry. I usually leave mine overnight. And then I think I have gold that I can use for the other two. Of course not. My gold is not here. Let me see if I have it sticking up here on my shelf. Silver. Oh, I had to tell this funny story. When my niece was here, I wanted my husband to come up and get my nail polish so she could do my nails. And it was so cute because he came back. I told him exactly where it was, but he came back and he had glitter glue. So we had a chuckle over that we could definitely paint our fingernails with glitter glue if we wanted to. But I think that would be pretty messy. You can get glitter nail polish, of course, but I think glitter glue fingernails would be pretty messy. I wonder if I have want to see in my earrings here. I had some things that were like a ladybug or let me see, a ladybug. I'll show you guys my little, I just have this little tray, and I periodically dump some out of my jar and then go through them and look for ones that I can use on my projects. But I thought for sure I saw a ladybug somewhere, but I don't see it now. I'm wondering if I have another one of these, because this would look cute. Okay, here's one, and it's just a different color. One, oh, they're both that color too. And I think, if I'm not, okay, here's, that one has something else on it. I wanted to see if I had another star. I don't see another star. A bird. A bird. What is this? A leaf? Okay, here's a moon. Okay, this is what I'm going to do here. And this will add a little bit of interest. So I'm going to just poke a hole right here. And I'm going to put this star in it. Okay, so we have a star. And then take my pliers. Where are my big pliers? Over here, I'll use these. And you just take that and bend it down so that no one can hurt themselves and so that your earring doesn't fall out. So since this is called Wishful Magic, we're just going to put a couple little things on here to kind of go with that theme. And here I am getting glitter glue on me because I said to do that at the end. But I didn't know I would find these cool earrings to use. And this wood is pretty easy to poke a hole through just with your awl, which is what I'm using. If you have one of those little craft hammers that you sometimes get in different projects, or if you have a small hammer from your toolbox, you can use that to kind of pound in the awl if you need to. But I don't usually have to because the wood, it's not balsa wood, but it's a nice kind of wood that makes it easy to just poke right through it. So what I found was this little moon and stars, and I'm going to put them in here because I think that kind of speaks to the words that we chose. I'm not sure which way that's supposed to go. Whether it's supposed to go this way or... Oh well. We'll put it like that. And then let me bend this one over. And then that kind of helps to speak to the wishes and the magic because of the stars. And I think that adds a little bit of extra whimsy to it. And then, where's my glitter glue? I'm going to go back and just redo a couple of these dots. And we'll make some dots on this one. And then I'm going to take the silver, and I'm also going to just put some little stars over here. They're not going to actually look like stars, but we'll get them as close as we can. And one up here, one here, and then when these glue, then when they dry, you get this pretty little sparkle on here that will be reminiscent of our wishful magic. So one of the things I just want to point out, when you have a project like this and you're using things that you have on your desk and you know what you have available and you just kind of go with the flow and make something, it comes out really cute. And don't doubt your abilities to make something that's cute and fun, because we can all do it. And as you can see through my process, at first I did this and then I did that and then I did this. So you see how as you start adding the images to the plaque, all of a sudden you're thinking of more ideas of what you can do to make this even more attractive. So the only thing we really need now is a butterfly to go with our fairy. Let me see. I have a box of stickers down here. Let me see if I happen to have a small butterfly in it, or even, you know, a medium-sized one. This one, I don't know if this one will be too big. Oh yeah, to put on her. But that's really the last thing we need to do to finish her up. And I'll just have to look through my stickers to see if I can find a little butterfly or some kind of wings to make her look like she's a fairy. I just love her. She's so cute. I'm not really a fan of using stickers in my work, but if that's all I have, I will use them. That's going to be awful big for her, huh? I will use a sticker if that's what I have to use to finish the project. So I'm just going to keep looking and see if I can find one. And then when I do, I'll add it. And of course, I will show you all what I did and how I added that to the design. I hope you liked following along with me today and were able to follow my vision of wishful magic and crazy tale. So I hope you all have a great night. Thank you so much for watching. Please be safe, and bye for now.